Hi everybody, welcome back in another episode of Dev Talk. In this episode we're going to discuss another new faction that we bring in the expansion of Spirit Strike, and we will focus on the deer. And I can already see why you like the deer, but please also tell the rest, why did you choose the deer?
Right, so the deer faction, it's a new type of animal. We didn't really have any hoof based animals yet, and of course the what are these things called?
Antlers?
The antlers, yes, thank you.
Which you so like.
Yes, it's a very cool visual aspect. So those are some of the contributing factors for the deer.
Right, and that we can see with Thorvald, for example, right? Instead of antlers, he will have like this thunderous.
Yes, yeah. So there's some thunder like coming off of the antlers and between them. So I thought that was a cool visual thing to do.
Right, so they're associated with lightning, as we can see. But
yeah,
what is the design philosophy behind the deer?
Yeah, so
maybe digging on.
This is like the storm faction. So wind. So that's fast. That's it moves stuff. So the idea is also that they kind of can rush onto the battlefield quickly in large numbers, but they might also sort of run out of gas soon, right? So you have to sort of balance that. And the deer are what we call internally a combo faction, so they like playing a lot of cards. So I think the idea of like a storm or a tempest sort of fits into that very
Raging
nicely.
across the board. Cool. We see that with Thorvald. I see focus, so it means that we can use support instead of our power to pay for him.
Yeah.
Making sure that you can add that combo.
Yeah.
But also the arrive ability is also interesting, right?
Yeah, so I mean, of course, you can just you have a flexible arrive ability in that you can deal damage to an animal or a stronghold. Sometimes very restricted to only an animal, but this is a bit more flexible. But then if you also played another card, you can also invoke. So this really promotes playing multiple cards, which is also enabled by the focus keyword.
Right, so you put him on the table, and if you're lucky, you also put another Spirit Owl on the table. But really,
and maybe another, exactly, maybe another card as well. And this is also exemplified in, for example, our item, this Thunderous Circlet over here. We're doing some new stuff. So, for example, we haven't done this. If you put another card this turn, this costs one power less. So it also promotes playing multiple cards, and it reduces the cost. And then this ability, this effect, you may return an animal to its owner's hand. We also haven't done that before, so we're sort of looking how far we can stretch our design space. And I also think it fits the theme, like it gets blown away, it gets blown back, right? So
cool.
I think that's very cool.
And you also told me that the Storm Hoof Adapt is also pretty interesting.
Yeah,
in the same sense.
Exactly. So this last words, you'll have to pay for it, so it doesn't always go off. But normally you probably want to pay for it, but it adds a bit of excitement because you obviously don't really know what you have on the top of your deck.
Right.
You might be able to play an animal for free, otherwise you just draw a card, but it's both good.
Right, but it's a nice twist that you actually have to pay for last words. Well, normally they just trigger.
Yeah, we did it once or twice in the core game, but we're just sort of expanding on that.
Nice. And what kind of synergies can we expect with other factions if you want to play the deer?
Right, so they're a little bit similar to the chameleons in that they like to play multiple cards in a turn, so that's a natural sort of combination. But also, as they do tend to play a lot of cards early and then maybe run out of gas a little bit later, you might want to pair it with the faction that has some nice card draw. The pandas might come to mind in order to keep the ball rolling.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us know more about the deer. That concludes the 3 new factions that we want to put in the Kickstarter campaign, which will go live on the 15th of September. So be there and help us and support us in bringing the game alive. If you have any comments or feedback, we're always open to hear it. And otherwise, we'll see you in a new episode of Dev Talk. Goodbye.